I'm here at IC Collectors Convention in beautiful Franklin, Tennessee. We are joined here with a guy who's been in a lot of science fiction and movies, Mr. Clem So. How are you doing today, mister?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the interview.
Awesome, no problem, no problem. Pleasure is all mine. You've been in all these different franchises, Star Wars, Marvel movies, all that. Tell us a little about how you got into in the whole thing.
So I'm a background actor. So I belong to a lot of agencies in the UK, and I guess my brother was played Mr. Fukutu in Casino Royale. And he has a very similar look with the grey hair. We often get confused, but he said, you should give this a try. So I joined a few agencies, and I guess my first job was working on Keanu Reeves' 47 Ronin, and then one of the episodes of Doctor Who, Angels Take Manhattan. And then it just grew from there. And then the thing is, with my long hair and my ethnicity, I do tend to get picked up for science fiction or fantasy. So therefore, hence, all the kind of different cool stuff you're seeing here.
You've got all this stuff. You were in the Star Wars, the last one and the one before that, Episode 7. What were these sets like? I mean, they were massive. I mean, you're probably in the Rebel base and all that as well, right?
Yeah. We filmed on Greenham Common RAF base, and that was, I mean, a lot of it was physically there. I think they were conscious of reducing the amount of CGI in what they did. They had two full-size X-Wings there. They had a full-size Millennium Falcon. All the costumes were there, all the droids and everything were real, very little CGI.
Did you get to go on the Falcon?
No, I didn't. I did look, and I thought, I'd love to, but nah. I got very close, but no, I didn't even think. The thing is, when you're working in that environment, you know what you're working on, and if you're a fan, it's okay to geek for a while, but maybe for a minute, and then you've got to be working really hard there, so you have to focus.
You worked with JJ. You worked with also Rian. How those two directors like styles? Are there any difficulties or easier? I know JJ did the first film. He's gonna also do the last film of the Skywalker saga.
Well, the only difference I would say is that I would say Rian had I don't know if you've ever seen him on film. He has a very relaxed demeanor. I think that transmits to the set. He's a very calm director. And I guess JJ is he also he's very exact, but I don't know what the difference is he has he's JJ. He's just JJ. He knows what he wants to. I'm not saying hey. Of course he knows. These guys know what they want. They know what shots they want. But I guess that's the only difference is Rian just appears to be more relaxed. I don't know what else to say.
Very cool. And you worked on these sets on the Rebel base. You were with some of these iconic actors like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill. Well, not Mark Hamill, but maybe, I don't know. But the Rebel base, between these actors and these iconic actors, how were they to work with, and what was it like being in that ecosphere of like this classic Rebel Alliance awesomeness?
Yeah, so because it was the first movie I worked on was Force Awakens. Yeah, obviously Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac, they were like the new guys, so we really didn't know what they were about, so obviously seeing Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford and Anthony Daniels, I had a chat with him. Of course they are legends. We called Carrie Fisher Queen Leia on set, because that's what she is to us. I was in awe. I had when we worked on the internal scenes where the Rebel base was and where the control room is. Right. It was quite intimate, and Harrison Ford.
Feature,
with the holographic image of the StarKiller bases, and we talked about that. And Harrison Ford is like standing right there next to you. Oh my God, this is Han Solo, man. That's what you think. But again, as I say, you have to have a really strong work ethic to be in these movies,
Right, and you've also done the flipping the coin over. You've done a lot of James Bond stuff. How is that? And what kind of stuff have you done in that?
Just background scenes, but key scenes like the scene in Rome with the secret Spectre meeting. That some of these. I think a lot of time people kind of see the kind of romantic side of the movie and they get to watch it, but a lot of these times it's quite monotonous. You're actually standing there for quite days on, days out, day after day, and you're literally not, if you want it to be in the right continuity, you could be there for like not moving anywhere.
Right. All these franchises, is there a particular franchise that you haven't worked on that you may want to work on or be interested in possibly joining as well?
Do you know what? I've been asked that a lot at conventions, and I love Star Trek Discovery. I love that series, and
you got Picard series as well.
Yeah. And though, I think the shot in the United States, that is something I would dream to work on one of those as anything.
It's totally cool. I'm always a big Star Trek and Star Wars fan, but Star Trek is very dear to my heart. So I was first introduced to science fiction, that and also the original trilogy, Star Wars. Got all this stuff. Is there anything, I know you probably, if you're going to be part of on NDA stuff, is there anything you could briefly mention or maybe just give us hints at possibly, if so?
Sure. Some of the projects I worked on, they're not necessarily this genre. I worked, last November, I worked on a film called Waiting for the Barbarians.
This is like kind of like a barbarian, like a old school, like kind of like Conan, or
I'll tell you. I think they're only just now starting to promote it. It stars Johnny Depp, Mark Rylance, and Robert Pattinson. It's quite a grown-up film. It's quite some of the scenes are quite grueling and intense. So it's not like the science fiction genre. But I love working on it. I got to go out to Morocco to work on that, and we did quite an intense scene. So that's probably one of the movies I can mention.
Very cool. You said you work with Robert Pattinson. I've got to ask, he's going to be the new Batman. What did you think about that? Did you get to interact with him at all on set? Or?
I didn't get to interact with him on set, but I can see he's a very capable actor. I think he could do a great job.
As do I. Let's talk for a second about Doctor Who. You've been part of the Doctor Who universe as well. Can you talk a little about how you got into that and what was like being a part of that iconic universe in the sci-fi universe?
Sure. I loved. I was a big fan of Doctor Who myself as a kid. I grew up on Tom Baker Doctor Who, and so to work on the show, one of my first episodes I worked on was Angels Take Manhattan with Matt Smith. It was kind of odd because he's a lot younger than me. He was like, I was like, oh, this is a kid, this isn't Doctor Who, but yeah, I grew to love his performance, and I think season 7 was a very strong season for him. And then, of course, later on I worked with Peter Capaldi, and I got to be a clockwork droid and a space zombie. I got to chase the Doctor around the space station. It was awesome. I had to pinch myself. That was great.
So it's so cool. And you've got all this science fiction stuff that you've been a part of. You being a Doctor Who fan, what was your favorite Doctor of all the Doctors? Tom Baker? Or?
I think Tom Baker was definitely my favorite. He did 7 seasons, I believe. But, I think I remember watching a bit of John Pertwee as well. But they're the ones that I remember. But the thing about Doctor Who is it's about the creatures, right? They're so cool. The Daleks, Cybermen. We got to love all that.
Very, 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 very cool. Now, you are also in a lot of Marvel stuff as well. You've done Doctor Strange. Let's talk about it. Tell us a little about that.
First of all, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I love Jack Kirby. He was one of my heroes. I know everybody goes on around Stan Lee, but Jack Kirby is one of my heroes. So to be working on Guardians of the Galaxy and then Doctor Strange was really cool. Yeah. The thing with that scene with Doctor Strange, there was a scene where Benedict Cumberbatch comes on in his Doctor Strange costume. I believe originally it was some sort of alternative ending, because obviously we did the scene twice, and in the second scene he comes in through the window, and Wong, who's played by Benedict Wong, he turns around and he's there. So it's like, what are you doing here? So it's kind of like, that would have been a cool moment if they had used that, but no, I was just really happy to be involved in that movie, and to be a character who was the same school as Doctor Strange, the Kamar-Taj. They are masters of the mystic arts and martial arts. That was pretty cool.
You've got all this stuff. Is there any website links that you like to shout out for people to find out about you and all your work, Facebooks, Twitters, or anything like that?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter, which is Clem _So, or Instagram, clem.so. Just follow me and watch my journey.
Awesome, Mr. Clem. It's a pleasure talking to you, sir. This is Owen from SciFiction.com, coming to you from IC Collectors Convention in Franklin, Tennessee, signing off. If you enjoy this video and would like to contribute, go to patreon.com/scifiction, where we will be giving away a Star Wars X-Wing Starfighter Lego set when we reach 50 patrons. So make sure you're subscribed so you can join in the discussion as we continue to cover all things sci-fi and beyond. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.